YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. But guys, our team builder here for week 9 of the GBA. The St. Louis Rampardos are taking on the Florida Gators in our week 9 matchup, a division matchup. And if you guys didn't see last week's match, it didn't quite go as well as we would have liked. We placed Crimson Seabad. He was able to pick up a W. He won, I think it was 2-0. We missed a Stone Edge at the end, and that cost us the match. Had we hit that Stone Edge, we indisputably win that match. Kind of a tough loss, but we've had some luck in our favor. We've had some bad luck in our favor. That's just Pokemon for you, man. It's gonna happen. So it is what it is. We are still in the playoff race, crazy enough. If we lose this one, then we're definitely out. But if we win this one, we actually could be tied for a playoff spot, which sounds pretty nuts, like I said. But we have a chance. You know, we have 2 of the people in front of us up for the next 2 weeks, so we have definitely a chance to still make the playoffs. So we took this match very seriously, did some serious prep. If you guys remember, we played Gator earlier in the season. I was able to win on the back of Choice Band and Terrakion. He kind of over-predicted, expected me to switch out. I just kept clicking Stone Edge over and over again, and we actually hit every single one of them. But yeah, so a couple things have changed with Gator's team, and it did have to change my prep. He picked up Ferrothorn. He's got Blastoise now. He previously had Kamala and Heracross, so his team definitely improved. Like, to me, that's a pretty easy, like, pretty fair swap there. I mean, Blastoise is really good. Ferrothorn's really good, so especially considering he's 3 steel types. Like, what is that? But nevertheless, he's got a really good team. He's got the Latios. He's got the, you know, obviously Defogger, hard hitter. He brought it last time with, like, Psyche MZ, Ice Beam, Heal Block, and Protect. Probably going to see a similar set with HP Fire this time. He's got that Heatran, which had Air Balloon last time. He ran Earth Power, Flash Cannon. I think it was Lava Plume or Magma Storm, something like that. And then Stealth Rocks on his Heatran. He didn't bring Mamoswine. He decided to go with Diggersby last time, knowing that I would over-prep for Mamoswine. Very likely he brings Mamoswine and Diggersby, or one of the two. I still think Diggersby is better against me now, and my biggest change to my team is we have Scissor now, so that might change up his prep a little bit, but you know, I think he's still going to bring the Diggersby. But Mamoswine, just a huge threat, very hard Pokemon to switch into. He's got the Galvantula, which he did bring Sticky Webs last time, so I have to kind of prepare for that. Pyukumuku could be his dual screener, which could be a bit annoying. Whimsicott, which is something he brought last time as well with Moonblast and Encore to kind of keep me from setting up on him. He has Ferrothorn now, obviously, very bulky Pokemon that could take a lot of hits, can also be kind of annoying with hazards and stuff like that. He's got the Diggersby, as we saw last time, Life Orb Diggersby he brought with like Earthquake and Ice Punch and probably U-turn and knockoff, I think, or return frustration he had. So Diggersby, very, very hard thing for me to deal with. Blastoise, of course, very bulky Pokemon, a reliable Rapid Spinner. He's got a great team, he really does. Doublade, which is one of the things that I can't stand. Doublade, of course, costing me a championship just a few seasons ago. And Halalucha, which he brought last time with acrobatics, mono attacking with like sub, SD, so kind of a weird set. Baton Pass, I think, to Baton Pass out the subs. But that's his squad. I'm expecting the Latios again. Like I said, Diggersby or Mamoswine or both are pretty much likely brings. I think he's going to probably bring the Heatran again, just because it helps against Victini. So, I mean, those are 3, maybe 4 of the Pokemon. I could really see Blastoise coming. I could really see Ferrothorn coming. I mean, he could really bring anything, and he showed last time that he was willing to bring all sorts of stuff, bring a Whimsicott, Galvantula, things like that. So we do have to be a little bit more ready for that. He may be a little less apt to bring, you know, Galvantula with webs, because I do have Scissor and the ability to defog things away, but nevertheless, that's his team, so I had to try to cover every situation as best as I could, and it's tough. He's got a good team, guys. We were able to beat him last time, but it's going to be a tough matchup up ahead here. So let's talk about our prep and kind of what we're bringing to this match and how we're going to try to win. So last time we brought Choice Band and Terrakion. This time I'm not bringing Banded, and I'm still kind of on the fence with this set, and I may tweak it. I'm not sure. Pretty sure we're going to keep it, though. But we're running Terrakion here, Adamant Nature, Max Attack, Close Combat, Stone Edge, Earthquake, Rock Polish, using this as a sweeper late game. Rock Polish up, outspeed his whole team, and just body him, hopefully. Groundium Z is there for Doublade. Groundium Z does like 70% to standard Doublade, which is really good, but I'm thinking about putting Rockium Z or Fightinium Z there. I still am kind of tossed up, so it may change before the match. I'm still waiting to decide what I'm gonna do, because, you know, Fightinium Z and Rockium Z are better for the rest of his team, whereas Groundium Z is really specific for Doublade. So I really have to weigh out the option of, do I think he's going to bring Doublade? And if he does, I'm probably going to want the Groundium Z. So I kind of have to make a tough decision. Not sure what that decision is going to be yet, but that's the set either way. Rock Polish obviously will outspeed his entire team. We could just do some serious damage, especially if we whittle him down. The next Pokemon we're bringing is going to be our Victini. Pretty much the same Victini I brought last time. Blue Flare Thunder, U-turn, Focus Blast. Didn't really get to do much last time. I don't even know if we even brought it into the match last time. So this thing is a really good Pokemon. I got the Air Balloon on it instead of the E-Belt, Air Balloon helps me switch into Earthquakes from Mammo, from Diggersby, because Diggersby is such a huge threat to my team, especially like a Scarf variant, which he might bring. So I gotta be really cautious about that. And Air Balloon just gives me an opportunity to switch in those Pokemon. And same with Mamoswine, like I could sit in front of the Mamoswine. Luckily, our Victory Star does boost Thunder and Focus Blast accuracy up to 77%, so not too shabby there. Unfortunately, we do have some pretty inaccurate moves on our team this week, but, you know, I kind of have to go all or nothing at this point in the season, and, you know, the last couple games, like I said, we're in a really tough spot to try to make playoffs, so I'm kind of just, I don't know, not really memeing out. I'm still, like, putting in a lot of effort and trying to make sure we can build a team that can win, but at the same time, I have to kind of do a little bit, some funkier stuff, you know what I mean? Like, if I want to be able to try to make a playoff spot at this point in time, so, and Gator's really, really good, and he knows what he's doing, so, but either way, this is pretty much the same set as last time. I just threw Air Balloon instead of E-Belt. The only way that really comes into play too much is like we miss out on the 2 KO on Blastoise now with Thunder if he's Spadef, but otherwise I feel like the Air Balloon is worth it, especially with Heatran. Like Heatran has Earth Power and Flash Cannon and you know, Fire moves, so like we could sit in all day on Heatran, so there's a lot of reasons why Air Balloon kind of fits this team, and it allows me to switch into those Earthquakes if I could predict that, so that seemed to be a pretty fair decision. We've got our Mojito here, a Rockin' Adamant, Life Orb Technician, Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Defog, Superpower pretty much exclusively for Scissor. We got enough speed on here to outspeed and speed creep up over Blastoise if he brings it, just to make sure we can U-turn and not take the Scald. That way I can switch out into something else to take the Scald on the Blastoise. But Bullet Punch does a tremendous amount to his team. With the Life Orb, we can like two-shot a lot of things. Superpower obviously for Ferrothorn and Heatran, just to get those things really hard. I can't touch Doublade, which is why I'm still leaning towards the Ground EMZ, because if I don't bring Ground EMZ on Terrakion, Doublade is such a problem. But if Doublade doesn't come, then it's almost a wasted item. So I'm a little conflicted there, you know, and I don't want to run Life Orb because I think that we could totally bluff like a Scarf and stuff on Terrakion. So I definitely don't want to run Life Orb. So I'm still a little up in the air about that. But again, this thing is max attack. Bullet Punch does just a tremendous amount to Latios. Like I said, it can beat the Mamoswine. It can do a lot to Diggersby as well, and it forces him to potentially bring HP Fire and stuff on his Latios. So it also keeps some of the other stuff at bay, including Whimsicott, so we have some priority for that. Our next Pokemon is going to be Clefable Zebra, who I didn't bring last time against him, but I really felt that I needed to have another thing that can kind of deal with Latios, because it's such a big threat. He's got so many huge threats, like Mammo, Latios, and Diggersby are just such tremendous threats to my team. It's really hard to kind of prep for all of them, but I'm bringing in offensive Clefable for the first time this season. I've been pretty much running defensive, and I have to be honest, I'm not a big fan of Clefable. I'll never draft it again after this point. You know, I thought it was going to be really good for me, but it just doesn't fit my playstyle, and it seems very underwhelming. Now I understand in standard play, like Smogon, this thing is amazing, I get it, but for me it just hasn't worked, so I'm very disappointed in Clefable. But nevertheless, I hope Deborah doesn't hear me say that, but nevertheless, it hasn't really worked for me, but I'm hoping that this week it can put in some work. Kind of a weird set though. Like I said, I'm running max HP, max special attack. My hope here is to kind of get Gator to overpredict. Like, if he brings in Heatran, he's probably gonna like Stealth Rocks on me or predict a switch. Like, Flash Cannon doesn't really do a ton to the rest of my team, like Victini and stuff. So I'm thinking I could stay in and go for a Focus Blast, so we could potentially knock out the you know, the Heatran with that, and he can't tell my item because Life Orb doesn't show through the Magic Guard, which is kind of cool. Flamethrower there for Doublade to help me against that thing. We do outspeed it. Helps against Ferrothorn, so we can knock that thing out. Obviously, Moonblast for Latios, so while we're not as bulky, we can hit some things pretty hard. Focus Blast can one-shot the Mammo as well. So kind of a weird Pokemon here. It's either going to do really, really well, or it's going to be dead weight. I don't know, but it at least keeps him from Draco Meteoring if he decides to bring that. But I think that Latios may not still carry Dragon coverage, I'm not sure. But either way, Moonblast hitting really hard could be super crucial, especially considering I have a lot of priority on my team, and I just need to hit things really hard and allow that priority to kind of clean up. So the next Pokemon, speaking of priority, is going to be our Guzma. Guzma, bringing it again, man. Really tossed about this slot, whether it was going to be Gliscor, whether it was going to be Golisopod. Wasn't really sure. You know, I did pick up Golisopod for the prime purpose of facing against Gator. Like, that's why I dropped for Alligator, which looking back, I wish I had for Alligator on the team, but you know, I didn't have Scissors, so I needed something because I had nothing to take on Mamoswine. I had like no good ground resist. But we are bringing Golisopod here. Aqua Jet, First Impression, Sucker Punch, Liquidation. Last time his Latios had Protect to scout for our First Impression. This time I threw Sucker Punch on it, which does like 60-70% to Latios, so I really felt like that could be super clutch. Sucker Punch also nice against Doublade. It also hits some other stuff for priority. Aqua Jet obviously for Diggersby and Mammo and Heatran. Liquidation hits those things pretty hard. Can't really do much to Ferrothorn, so we have to be kind of cautious there, but Ferrothorn, I have a couple other things on my team that can obviously take on Ferrothorn, the previous 4 Pokemon. Pokemon are pretty decent against that thing. You know, but this thing could put in some work. You know, this ability is so annoying. The emergency exit is so annoying, but at the very least, he does hit pretty hard. The priority allows him to get some hits off and maybe even give me some momentum if the emergency exit activates at the right time. So hopefully that'll work out. And last but most certainly not least, making its debut for the Rampardos this season is going to be wub. It is going to be our Choice Scarf Exploud. Now, Choice Specs Exploud is wonderful because it just hits so hard with that damage boost. Now, the Scarf variant doesn't hit as hard, but it does a lot of damage. Boom Burst actually 3-hit KOs Blade if he's not specially defensive, which is pretty nuts. Fire Blast decimates that. I can Fire Blast the you know, the Ferrothorn. We've got the Focus Blast there for Ferrothorn and Heatran. Earthquake there for Heatran in case I don't want to miss the Focus Blast. Boom Burst just wrecks the rest of his team. This helps me against Hawlucha substituting because it goes through the substitute. If he decides to bring a Mold Breaker variant again, it can hit things like the Blastoise, outspeeds his entire team unless he runs like a Scarfer. So this thing could put in some work. It outspeeds Latios, does like 60-70% to that. So again, with some chip damage from some of the other Pokemon like Bullet Punch and Sucker Punch, First Impression, I have all these different priority, and then I have like Victini to hopefully hold it down. I think this team could work. I think I'm gonna throw him a little bit off guard. I think he's gonna expect things like Haxorus. He's probably gonna expect me to Gliscor again. He might expect me to bring Delmise because Delmise was really good against him. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm going to have to just keep the momentum. I got to make sure I handle that Diggersby and Mamoswine as soon as possible because their Earthquakes are just so powerful. They really wreck my team, so I got to make sure I make the proper switch-ins. I don't have a ground immunity. I only have a resist in Golisopod. Luckily, again, Victini does have that immunity with Air Balloon, so we at least have that going for us, but a misprediction could really throw us off there. So it's going to be a tough match. I'm going to do my best, though, to hopefully win. Match will be up tomorrow, guys. I hope you're excited for the match against Gator and our Week 9 battle. A win here could put us back in the playoff race. It's been a crazy season, and 3-5 is not where I want to be, but the fact that we're still in this is pretty nuts to me, so I'll take it. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed our team builder here. That's gonna be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by aDrive. I'm the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos, and I'm gonna catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.